All right, welcome. Today, we're diving headfirst into the world's biggest financial market, forex. We're going to give you a step-by-step map, a real guide for beginners. So let's get right into it. So are you ready? Well, it's not just about being ready. It's about being prepared. You absolutely can't just jump into this market blind. No way. It's all about having a map, the right gear, and knowing exactly where you're going before you put a single dollar on the line. Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. First up, we'll talk about how your journey begins. Then, we'll get into building a solid foundation. After that, it's all about crafting your game plan. And finally, we'll cover entering the live arena. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, your trading journey begins. You know, before you set off into any new territory, you've got to understand the landscape, right? So let's learn the language and get the lay of the land. And I want to be crystal clear about this. The absolute number one first step, it's education. Forget about profits, forget about fancy platforms for a second. This is the one thing you just can't skip. It is the foundation, and trust me, without it, everything else you try to build on top is just gonna crumble. So what is forex trading anyway? Well, at its very core, you're just buying one currency and selling another at the same time. Think about it like this. If you buy the EUR/USD pair, you're buying euros and selling US dollars. You're essentially betting that the euro is going to get stronger compared to the dollar. It's that back and forth, that constant shift in value that traders are trying to predict. Okay, so how on earth do traders make these predictions? Well, they basically have two different pairs of glasses they can put on to look at the market. First, you've got technical analysis. This is all about looking at charts, finding patterns, seeing where the price has been, and trying to figure out where it's going next. Then, you've got fundamental analysis. This is about what's happening in the real world. Big economic news, interest rates changing, political stuff. The best traders? They usually use a mix of both. Okay, on to Section 2, building your foundation. So now that we've got a feel for the landscape, it's time to pack our bags, right? We need to gather our supplies. This is all about picking the right tools, and this is a big one, the right partners for the expedition. And who is that critical partner? It's your broker. See, you and I can't just walk into the forex market and start trading. We need a broker to actually place those trades for us. Just think of them as your Sherpa, your guide in this new territory. So yeah, picking a good, trustworthy one is absolutely essential. Now, I know choosing a broker can feel like a huge task. There's so many out there, but really it boils down to these three non-negotiables. First up, regulation. This is your safety net. Seriously, it means a reputable authority is watching over them, making sure your money is safe. Second, fees and leverage. You want competitive costs, obviously, but be careful with leverage. It's a double-edged sword. It can magnify your wins, but it can also magnify your losses just as fast. And finally, the trading platform. This is your command center, your cockpit. It has to be user-friendly and reliable. If any one of these is off, your journey could be in trouble before it even starts. All right, let's move on to Section 3, crafting your game plan. So you've got your guide. That's your broker. But a guide is useless if you don't know where you're going. You need your own personal map and compass. And that is your trading plan. Honestly, trading without one is like trying to sail across the ocean without a rudder. You're just going to go in circles. So how do you build this all-important plan? Well, it's really about these three steps. First, you've got to define your goals and, just as important, your risk tolerance. What are you trying to achieve? And how much are you willing to risk to get there? This helps keep your emotions from taking over. Second, choose your strategy. Are you a day trader, a swing trader? Pick an approach and stick with it so your decisions aren't random. And third, and this is maybe the most important part, set your rules. Know exactly when you'll get in, when you'll get out, and where your stop loss is before you ever click the buy or sell button. This plan is what turns gambling into methodical trading. Okay, so you've got the knowledge, you've got your plan. You're ready to go, right? Not so fast. You don't just charge into a real battle. First, you go to the training arena, the sparring ring. It's time to put that strategy to the test in a totally safe, simulated environment. I love this analogy. A demo account is your flight simulator. It's perfect. You get to fly the plane, you get to test your plan with real market conditions, but with zero risk. If you crash, you just reset. This is where you build up that muscle memory, that confidence, so your strategy becomes totally second nature. Let's just make sure we're all on the same page here about the difference. On one side, you have the demo account. That's your lab. It's for risk-free practice, testing, refining your skills. On the other side, the live account. That's the real deal. Real money and, this is key, real emotions. The whole point of the demo account is to get you ready for the psychological pressure cooker of live trading. And that brings us to Section 4, entering the live arena. Okay, you've put in the hours in the flight simulator. You've proven to yourself that your strategy actually works. Now, it's time. It is time to take all that training, all that planning, and put it into action for real. And you know what? The process here is actually pretty simple because all the hard work is already done. You just follow the steps. You fund your account, you execute your trades based strictly on that plan you worked so hard on, and then you monitor your results and adjust as you go. It's a cycle.
But listen, going live isn't the finish line. Not even close. If you want to survive and thrive in this arena for the long haul, you need to tattoo a few rules of the road onto your brain.
These 3 rules are everything. They're your key to longevity. First, start small. I can't stress this enough. The psychological hit of trading real money is intense. Starting small lets you get used to it without risking your entire account. Second, stay disciplined. Your plan is your shield against your own worst enemies, fear and greed. Those 2 emotions blow up more trading accounts than anything else. Stick to the plan. And finally, never stop learning. The market is always changing, always evolving. If you think you know it all, you're already behind. And really, if you take away one thing, let it be this. Getting through these steps isn't the end of the journey. It's the beginning. It's the starting gate. Trading isn't a one-time thing you do. It's about building a process, a sustainable cycle of planning, doing, and learning that you can repeat for your entire trading career. So there you have it. We've laid out the entire path for you, from day 1 of learning all the way to your very first live trade. You now have the map. You have the compass. So the only real question left is, what's your first step going to be?